some toys in here.
Hey, what's up everybody? Today is the Man Child. Alright, so today up a review. Gonna go over the Master Universe, Turtles of Grayskull, He-man or Mutant He-man or Mutated He-man figure that I finally found and got in. So these are international releases that people are finding online, including myself, mainly on eBay. So I already went over Donatello, Man at Arms. So these are part of the Wave 1 series. I think they're pretty cool. And this He-man and just having him in hand, I like the way they went about him. You know, just the face sculpt, the radioactive hair, you want to call it, right? Because he's mutated through the ooze. It looks like the body might be translucent as well. And taking a quick look at the front of the packaging, for those of you who aren't familiar, so yeah, the Turtles of Grayskull has an exploding logo, very similar to how the Origins Master Universe logo exploded. Got some exploding rocks down here, some cool cosmos. He just labels He-Man, doesn't say Mutated or Mutant He-Man. Up to the left-hand side, we have the vintage, or to say the Origins-inspired Skeletor. And over to the right, we have Shredder, which looks really cool, to where Donatello's and Man-at-Arms cards had He-Man on this side and Leonardo on the right-hand side. And at the bottom of the packaging, they have this one long sticker, of course, has a Master Universe logo in combination with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo. And now here's a quick look at the art on the back of the package. So once again, we have our Master Universe logo and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logo up top, as you can see. Look at that art, really cool. We have our mutated He-Man up close. Looks like he has a Spike Horse Club. That's what the figure comes with. Look at this in the background. You got the slime pit with Shredder. So it's like they hijacked the Horde slime pit. Now, if this is a hint for a slime pit to come out in the Origins line, you know, and they're going to go with this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, that's a piece going to come with. I hope they come with both pieces, a Shredder helmet, and these can be removable and you get the iconic skull. I mean, if they're going to put out a slime pit, I don't know. And now dropping down to the left-hand side, they just kind of show an action pose with Mutated He-Man with the club in hand. And now here's a look with their cross-sell with all four figures as part of this Wave 1 Turtle series. I already reviewed Donatello and Man-at-Arms, and there's no bio, once again, on the back of this package because of the international release. And before we go over Mutated He-Man, he also comes with the same comic that Donatello and Man-at-Arms also came with, so I'm also assuming Leonardo will come with the same one. Now, once again, this is the international release, so it doesn't have wording. Now, I did share images with both Toy Habits and Mega J, and they did a great job with just listing images. And Mega J actually did a whole video on this, speculation, I want to call it, without the wording, which was really fun. But real quick, I'm going to go through it. And yeah, I learned there's just stuff in the background I didn't even notice looking at the other two comics, like Moss Man. I didn't see him the first time. I did see Roboto's, even Stridor down here I didn't notice, with Moss Man riding Stridor. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on. All right, here's our new mouse jaw there. So I'm just going to flip through it. Maybe you guys see my other reviews, already seen it, but it's fun to look through. It's always new stuff. Bunch of stuff going on. You see how the Turtles enter the picture. Let's see. Got a little battle going on with Mouse Jaw. All right. There's Turtles once again. And these are like the early, or the real cartoon Turtles, just from the images, which is interesting how they put that art, that type of illustration with those in there. Making some type of alliance here. Looks like Teela captured Mouse Jaw. She has some type of gravity ray or something. That's what Mega J pointed out. It's cool. So, yeah, let's try to knock through this real quick. All right, there's Krang and Shredder over here. Looks like they have some type of teleportation device here. You can see down at the bottom. Turtles are coming into the picture. And, yeah, now they're, I assume, in Eternia. Here's where they meet up. Yeah, here's the new Man-at-Arms. And that, there's speculation whether that's Teela or April. I'm going to say it's Teela with some kind of armored. So it'll probably be a variant of her coming out in the line at some point. All right. And then, what else? This is Mikey. Now, it's also interesting, too. Mikey has, like, battle-armored He-Man armored on with, I want to say, a wig or his hair on. And he's supposed to be an exclusive figure. I haven't seen any images of him whatsoever. But that's, yeah, that's Mikey, I guess. And I hope the hairpiece comes off. So they're all, yeah, eating some pizza down there. All right, and here's the new Krang now, the figure coming out once again. There's Snake Mountain background. I got Skeletor involved with the Bones Row and the Shredder. And another thing, too, I didn't notice was, I think Mega J called that was Leatherhead. I'm sort of familiar with him, but I'm not. And it looks like they have He-Man chained up here. And has he, I don't know if he's mutated. Yeah, it looks like he's mutated already. And here he is now. And I wasn't sure, too, my last video, whether he was a bad guy or not. I would assume he is, right? There's the U's. You can see Crane background. The whole slime pit thing now makes sense. All right, now here's a quick look at Mutated He-Man, his accessory out of package. Yeah, they did a really cool job with him. Now, a few things going on here. He has So a new armor that's removable. Looks like this belt piece removable. He's not glow in the dark that I can see, but he does have hair that kind of it's fluorescent. I'll put a black light on him a little bit. And his body is translucent from what I've seen so far, which is really neat. So, taking a closer look at Mutant He-Man's head and hair sculpt, yeah, I really like it. Came out awesome. I didn't think I'd like this figure, but it's different, you know. It's just yeah, hyper slimped He-Man or something reminds me of. Very hulked up, something like Savage He-Man. He even has larger arms as well. Um, but as far as the head articulation, so we can go look all the way, you know, right, left, go down about that far and back. Check out that head sculpt. I love the way the open mouth with the teeth were sculpted back in there and painted white. You know, they could have just made him purple and match that skin, which skin itself is a really cool color. The eyes, that bright red color. Yeah, being that he's just hypnotized kind of thing going there. Look at the hair. The hair too is like a fluorescent green color. So he has the headband. That's also a part of sculpt, but just painted black. Well, I really like the way they went, you know, about this head sculpt for this Mutant He-Man. Spinning him around, he has the headband trails coming off there, and they're separate pieces, really flexible. Now it looks like a piece that's plugged in, plug and glue. Looks like if you want to take it out, you could, and probably be a hole back there. But yeah, I really like the way they went about this He-Man figure. So let's take the head off for a second. And now here's a look with the neck with the head off, and that's the standard Origins ball peg. You can just see all the colors and everything. So putting the head back on for a minute, checking out that new cross armor, mutated cross armor. That looks really cool. Check that out. I love the way they went about that. Just the so you have all these new spikes here. It's a whole different design. So yeah, just mold it in a flat black color, and then well, of course the he is all in orange with the spikes. Let's see. So okay, it goes all the way around in the back like this. You can just see the you know, the overall design on the back. And so it looks like to take it off, I got to take the head off again. And then I have a square peg, so it looks like it's going to break off like that. And then spinning him around from front, pull it down. And we got to break the waist in half. And there's a close look at that armor off the body. Yeah, that is a really cool design. I wouldn't mind having one like that for the regular He-Man, but in gray, which we'll try to sign the He-Man in a little while. But yeah, I like the design. And this plug, too, is pretty cool. Just the way it locks and snaps in. It works really easy and holds good. Alright, so here's a quick look with mutated He-Man with the armor off for the moment. Of course, I'll put the head and waist back on. I love this color in the body. And once again, it's translucent. We're going to look at that in a second. But yeah, you have all these, like, I guess, pulsating veins that you can see in his body with the ooze in it. That's so cool with this figure. Now, he does have larger arms, I already said. So we'll go over the articulation without the armor on. We already did the head. So check out the size of those arms. Yeah, they're a lot bigger than regular He-Man, which I'll compare in a little bit. But as far as the articulation, so let's see, go down about that far, go all the way out, and up, pop that at a ball peg. So they come out pretty easy, so they are customizable. Snap it back in. So we can go forward, back. Let's see, bend up at the elbow like this all the way to the face. Check out these bracers. That's incredible. And look at that. They're actually removable because it's spinning. Big steel, 1, 2, 5 spikes on them. And now, yeah, so this Mutant He-Man comes with 2 semi-weapon gripping hands, I always call them. And this, they can spin. They go in and out in a hinge joint. They're a lot larger than the regular Origins hands, and they're the same on both sides. So is this arm as well. Really cool. So taking a look at the hand, I'm going to pull it out of the socket. And now here's a close look with that right hand off the arm, so you can see it's next to a regular He-Man hand, how big it is, just the overall size. Pretty cool. And here's a close look at that bracer off the right hand, which they're both the same. But yeah, it is really cool. I didn't think they would come off, and they do. It's awesome. And here's a quick look at the other bracer off the left side. So once again, they're exactly the same, and just the idea that they both come off. And now going back to Mutant He-Man, so of course we got the armored, both of those wrist bracers off. And as far as the articulation at the waist, because we already went over the arms and the head, so he can spin at the waist. Now he can come apart at the waist, and check this out. He has a steel belt that can also come off. And here's a look at that belt off the waist. So once again, just like the wrist bracers, it's painted the same color with all these cool spikes. It's really soft, so it can fit other Origins figures if you want to. And then put Mutant He-Man back together again. So he has a typical loincloth and belt style. Looks like the same exact, I want to say, ab and legs as the other Origins He-Man, which we'll compare soon. To finish up the articulation, so we know he spins. He can go all the way out this far with a split. He can kick, let me see, forward about that far. I can go back. Bend all the way up at the knee, spin at the knee, and yeah, I'm just got to watch these. I'm always a little hesitant with translucent plastic, but it looks sturdy. As far as the boots, so he comes with your typical, I want to say, He-Man style boots, but this one has like the foot blew out when he turned into Hulk or something, or maybe just wore out kicking somebody. But yeah, you can see it has the brown wraps all around, but yet mold it in a black color, and they can spin and come off, so you can change out regular He-Man boots you want to, which I will. Let's try something different. And of course, as far as the articulation, go up, down, rock side to side. And the other boots, all this, or the foot's all the same, with the toes hanging out. Can spin, go up and down, rock side to side. All right, now here's a complete look with Mutant He-Man with all the armor and everything I took off. So as far as the body, that translucent color. So I got a black light here. I just want to see some. So I'm going to turn some lights off, and let's see what the light looks like through them and what areas are fluorescent and glow. Okay, so I got all the lights off with a black light on them. Check out just the overall glow in the body itself, and of course the hair. So putting the light through them, look at that. Yep, it's all translucent. That is cool. Look at even the chest. Now the buck color is a little bit different than the arms and legs and face, but still, it's pretty cool. Check out the way the hair. So it's sort of, fluorescent color to it under a black light. But that is, I did not expect them to be translucent. That's awesome they did that. And then with the light still out, here's a regular white light as well, instead of using a black light. So moving on to accessories, Mutant He-Man just comes with this Spike Mace Club, same exact Mace Club that Spyro came with, and it's just molded in that silver color to match his wrist bracers and the belt. And now here's a quick look or action pose with Mutant He-Man set up with the club in the right hand raised like he's getting ready to strike. Alright, so moving on to some comparisons and mixing and matching of parts. So here's a comparison between our new Mutant He-Man against the version 2 Origins He-Man that came with the full power sword and the regular vintage Inspire head. There's not really a lot we can do with him, besides some armor swaps and stuff, like head change outs and things like that, hands. Maybe the boots will do, but it's kind of his own thing. Side that's those two together, so you can see the difference in heights. And I'm going to remove the armor in a second. At first I thought his buck was bigger, but I think it's the same exact buck. It's just the arms are bigger. Anyway, that's those two together. And now here's a quick look with both cross armors removed from both figures, obviously. So you can see once again, he's translucent, different color, and all the different things going on with this figure. Yeah, that looks like the same buck, I want to say, right? Same legs for the most part. The head's obviously totally different. Now this seems like it's trying to be reminiscent of vintage Inspire head a little bit, but different sculpting, the hair, yeah, obviously the face, teeth, paint, the whole deal. The only other note, so it's same loincloth and belt on his figure, right? If you remove that big steel piece. Boots side, he has toes sticking out of his foot. But the arms are obviously a lot different. His is larger. And now here's a quick look with Mutant He-Man set up with the original He-Man cross armor. I put the full power sword in his hand through the axe in the left, and also changed the boots out. So if you wanted to, leave that set up for this figure, you could. And I'm just going to leave that belt and these wrist bracers on. I think they look pretty cool, but maybe, under the slime pit, the Shredder slime pit, he mutated, but the cross armor and boots didn't, and he didn't get a new weapon. So if you want to set him up like that, it looks really cool and can work. And now I just threw the axe in the right hand. I did put the shield in the left. So yes, you can still use the shield from your regular He-Man or Battle Armored He-Man, but you have to take that wrist bracer off, as you can see. And it fits and locks even better than the original Origins arms, I think. And now going back to regular He-Man. So obviously I switched to all of Mutant He-Man's parts and accessories on his body. So yeah, we have the cross armor, looks awesome. Can even use these big wrist bracers by taking the hands off. That belt even fits. And I put the club in hand. I just put his of course, his boots back on. You're not going to use Mutant He-Man's boots with the foot hanging out. Purple toes, unless He-Man had gangrene or something. But aside that, check out that variant. It looks cool and works, awesome on this body and figure. And now here's a quick look with some of Skeletor's armored pieces on him. So, of course, we have this Crossbones chest armored on. I got that lower belt guard. And I also put Skeletor's boots on this Mutant He-Man because he kind of reminds me of a mix between Faker and Slime Pit He-Man or something like that. So why couldn't he have some of Skeletor's parts working for Skeletor and Shredder? Take a look at that. Looks pretty cool. And while I'm at it, why not throw a Skeletor head on that body? Now we have Mutant Skeletor instead of Mutant He-Man because it says already mutated with the hood and the skull. And here's a quick comparison between my mutated Skeletor setup and, of course, the Battle Armored Skeletor. The reason why I brought him in is because I really wanted to try to use these parts on the Battle Armored Skeletor armor or the He-Man armor with the He-Man head on, of course. But the problem is you can't get the arms. They're not removable out of the Battle Armored Skeletor He-Man figures. It's something to do with this mechanical setup, I guess. That would have been really fun, though, to use this armor, put these two larger arms on there. We could just snap the waist on and try different parts and heads. Again, both for He-Man and Skeletor, but you can't do it. But it was on my mind. I just wanted to bring that in and make a point of that. And now here's a quick look at the new Mutant He-Man into the vintage slime pit. So once again, going back to the card art with the slime pit, but it had the shredder head and the blades on the end. It would be cool to see a Origins-inspired slime pit like this one with the skull. So if they do make one for the Turtles line crossover Origins, I hope it has a skull, but pretty cool. How he's being mutated anyway. Now this is these are fluorescent. It's a fluorescent rubber material I got from Amazon. I cut it to make it look like slime. So that's a easy or fun solution to make a slime that you can put your figures in a slime pit on display and have it coming out of a skull instead of using actual slime, which would make a mess anyway. But I thought that'd be fun to throw out Mutant He-Man in a vintage slime pit and see what it looks like. And now, once again, focusing back on some more He-Man figures and part swapping. So here's the new Filmation style He-Man or cartoon He-Man with all of Mutant He-Man's accessories on. So, which looks pretty cool on him. Putting on big wrist bracers. I just put that alternative sword he has in hand, Sword of the Ancients. The armored on, obviously, that belt piece, and just left the regular boots on. But check that out. It brings that He-Man up to a whole other level because he has a little bit different body style going in the typical Origins. But it still works, and I think it looks cool. And once again, focusing back on Mutant He-Man. So, of course, I just threw that Filmation-inspired armored on the body and put the wrist bracers and the whole setup as he came back on. Take a look at that. Works cool if you didn't want to use that other armored and something with that cartoon one. There's the sword hold with the sword in back. And for the next setup, I want to throw the Thunder Punch He-Man chest armor and accessories on him. So once again, if he was slimed in the slime pit under the U's, but yet the armored and accessories didn't change, I kept everything else the same. I just kept that silver belt, the bracers, which looks cool, his feet. For the most part, everything fits good. The shield, now that's a custom sword, translucent sword I got like on eBay. That's what the Thunder Punch should have came with instead of gold one. Go back to the vintage figure. And the that punch effect, that can fit on the hand. It sort of sits loose. See that? Doesn't. I mean, if you want to push a thumb and you can make it work, but for most part, it can work and it looks cool. Set him up as a Thunder Punch He-Man variant. And now moving over to a Masterverse body with this armored. So this is the first release Masterverse He-Man, or actually it's a Viking style body that I changed some of the He-Man's parts over, like the loincloth, the boots, these wrist bracers, stuff like that. I have a custom head on mine. I showed this before, but the whole point of this is, does this armor work on a Masterverse figure? So you can see, because he can split in half and Masterverse figures or classics can't for the most part, yeah, you're trying to fight and slide this up over the legs, get it up with a loincloth. Now you could probably heat this or blow dry or soften up, pulling up all over, but for the most part, yeah, I'm having a hard time struggling with it, getting up to the body. But if you could do that, I have no doubt this can go over the head and probably lock in the back. So without modification, I would say no, it's not. You're going to have a hard time trying to fit it. I wouldn't bother unless you want to cut it. Same thing goes for the steel piece. You know, you can see that. There's no way. Again, unless you made some type of, you see a seam there, a cut or something, try to wrap it around the waist, glue it. It might work. You might have a gap. And here's a look with the Masterverse armored on this Mutant He-Man's body. So if you want to use that, I like that for some reason. It fits perfect. And finally, set Mutant He-Man back up with all his parts and accessories. And for one more quick comparison, so we got our Mutant He-Man against the Donatello and the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles inspired Man-at-Arms as part of the Wave 1 series. So that's all those three together. And the only one I'm missing is Leonardo, obviously, which I can't find. That's the turtle I want the most, but that's all those together. So moving on to my final thoughts and to finish the video up, I gotta say, he's a really cool He-Man variant in hand. I mean, he could just be part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series as a Mutant He-Man, or he could be a He-Man variant going back to the regular Origins line. It's pretty neat, all the different parts he comes with, like the wrist bracers and belt. I mean, they could have been their own sculpts in or not. They come off, as I showed. I like that new armored. You know, he's got his own boots. Ain't much you can do with that. But you could put regular He-Man or Skeletor feet, whatever feet you want on, is what I already did in the review. That's a really cool head sculpt, too. It's vintage inspired, but yet, yeah, mutated and mean. I would expect that. I love the color of the hair. This little piece on the back can move up and down or come off if you wanted it to. Just the overall body is translucent like that, and with the painted effects in there, I mean, they went a little extra with this He-Man. I think he came out great. So I appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, take care.